Hello YouTube, Ben here, and in a recent video I talked about the 3 P's, ways to help your fish to avoid disease, and one of those was predisposition. And so I did a survey at the ben.o.cichlid Facebook group page, and I asked the members what they thought was a source of stress. What was a source of stress for fish? Because I think we all agree that a stressed fish is more likely to get sick and to manifest the signs of sickness and have things develop that maybe an unstressed fish could fight off a little bit better. So I did a survey. My results are a little different from what I thought they were going to be, maybe because of what I had on my mind at the time. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about fish stress and what relates to that first P, the predisposition to disease. Let's take a look at that and see what the survey showed. So I talked about stress at the ben.o.cichlid Facebook page, and I conducted a poll, a survey. And I asked the members what they thought was a source of stress. Now, what I would have thought was going to be the number one answer was not the number one answer. As some of you know, recently I had a power shift in this tank. You'll notice there's no autopharynx tetrastigma in here anywhere to be found, and that is thank you to this fellow right here, the polystigma, who wrestled away the tank boss position in a tag team with the Taiwan reef. Taiwan reef was getting his licks in, a little bit of payback since it was the Taiwan reef that was the tank boss before he was bumped by the tetrastigma. So the polystigma beat up the tetrastigma, whom you can see here in the 100, where he is recovering nicely, getting some color back, wounds are starting to heal up. But he took a real beating, and it happened at night when nobody was looking. So by the time the morning came, he was a bit worked over. And they would have started to work on the John Stoney as well, but we pulled him out immediately. And so there was no real damage there, but the tetrastigma got beat up pretty good. So with that fresh on my mind, I was thinking, well, the number one in the poll, in the survey, the number one item that's going to come up probably is aggression, only because I had it on my mind. But interestingly enough, here are the poll results. You can see them for yourself. So what the survey shows, based on and again, this is a limited survey based on the members of the ben.o.cichlid Facebook group page, this survey shows that the number one cause of aggression, at least in the group member's mind, is wrong tank mates. And that sort of, that speaks to the what happened with the tetrastigma. And I anticipated that that at some point one of those nimbochromuses, the Livingstoni, the poly, possibly the Venusus, I knew that one of them was going to make their move. And so tank mates, incorrect tank mates, number one source of stress in fish, instead of aggression, which would have been my what I thought would have come up number one. What other factors can cause stress? Well, bad water conditions, That means what? High nitrates, you haven't been doing your water changes, perhaps your filtration is inadequate, you're not vacuuming, and as a result you're getting high nitrates. That's assuming you have a cycled tank. Let's say you put fish into a tank that isn't completely cycled, you'll have ammonia and nitrite damage, which can be very serious and a very quick death. Poor quality food, that also came up, as you can see on the survey. And in my mind, another source of stress is too much meddling, too much messing around with the tank. Moving this around, moving that around. Even when you do vacuuming, you are creating stress for your fish. So too much messing around, that can also be a source of stress. Why is stress a concern? Well, because of disease. Stress will predispose your fish. If you remember my video, the 3 P's. Stress will predispose your fish and make them more likely to have whatever's going around manifest itself, whether it be parasites, hole in the head disease, ick, whatever's going on, it will weaken them and they will become more likely to become ill, sick, and die. So stress, being something that predisposes fish to illness, is certainly something that we as hobbyists, as fish keepers, should be aware of, sensitive to, and on top of. Anything we can do to reduce stress and to make their life as stress-free as possible, good for the fish and good for the fish keeper. So there you have it, and thank you so much for tuning in. And what do you think is a source of stress for fish? Leave your comments below. What have you experienced to be stressful for fish? And I'd like to know. Comment below, and if I can, I will reply to your comments. I thank you so much for tuning in. You are appreciated. Be sure to check out the Facebook group page. You can see the address up here. That's the name of the group, ben.o.cichlid. And also follow on Instagram at ben.o.cichlid. Also, I'll display it up here on Instagram. So there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are appreciated, my friend, as always.